sterilized walls of the hospital corridor echoed the quiet footsteps of Oforiwa as she entered the cancer ward promptly at 5 p.m. Visiting hours were limited to 4 to 6 p.m., and she had no intention of prolonging her stay. Weaving through the corridors, she found her way to the cancer ward, her heart carrying a burden of mixed emotions. Her eyes focused on bed number 20, where Sunny lay. Oforiwa couldn't help but gasp at the sight of his free form. Sunny, once a steady and muscular man, now appeared gaunt, a shadow of his former self. He was engrossed in a book when Oforiwa approached, their eyes locking in a moment of silent tension. After a brief silence, Sunny broke it, acknowledging Oforiwa's presence. Hello, Oforiwa. Thanks for coming. His voice, weak and strained, was followed by a fit of coughing. Oforiwa, standing by his bedside, carefully chose her words. There was a tumult of emotions within her, a storm she had long suppressed. The doctor said you had asked for me, she replied, maintaining a composed demeanor. Sunny attempted a smile, his lips thin and parched. Ah, Ofuriwa, always one for getting straight to the point. Do you want to sit? He gestured to the chair beside the bed. No, thanks. I will stand. Ofuriwa replied tersely, a hint of determination in her voice. Acknowledging his wrongdoing, Sunny admitted, I can see you are in a fighting mood, and I can't blame you. I have acted terribly. Another bout of coughing interrupted his words, his frailty evident in the wheezing sounds emanating from his chest. As Ofuriwa observed the scene around her, her eyes landed on the bed opposite Sani's, where a patient received care and affection from loved ones. It struck a chord within her, a stark contrast to the solitude Sani now faced. She redirected her attention back to Sani, her disdain for him momentarily overridden by concern. Where is that witch? She questioned, referring to Maggie, Sani's ex secretary, now second wife. Sani chuckled weakly, struggling with every breath. Maggie isn't here. She's in America doing her master's. She left me for a wealthier man asking for half of everything. Everything is in both our names. Sunny's tone shifted, a mix of regret and sorrow. I gave her everything: money, cars, houses, expensive holidays, but it still wasn't enough. I left my family for her. There is nothing I haven't done for her yet. He glanced at Oforiwa. You were right. She is a witch. She blinded me with her charms. I gave her everything, and I lost the most important thing: my soul. In an attempt to sit up straight, Sani winced in pain. Oforiwa, I called you to ask for your forgiveness. I know I have hurt you. I don't know what came over me. You were always the love of my life. I am sorry it took me so long to realize it. Is there a chance that we could start over? Oforiwa was shocked. Of all the things she had thought Sunny would say, this was not it. Sunny wanted her back. She looked at him. This man she used to love. this man who had crushed her and humiliated her. She had a flashback to all the things she had gone through. The man who had inflicted so much pain upon her and her children. Time had passed and wounds had scarred, but the scars still bore the echoes of a harrowing journey. It all began with Sunny's shocking denouncement of her children, triggering a chain of events that led to a court battle. Sunny, unrelenting in his cruelty, demanded DNA samples from the very children he disowned. As the samples traveled to South Africa for testing, the agony of waiting was accompanied by an unthinkable tragedy: their son Kobe's attempt to take his own life. The relentless bullying at school, fueled by the news of his father Sunny's disownment, had pushed Kobe to the brink. One term out of school, counseling, and a change in educational environment became the refuge for Kobe. The DNA results, when they arrived, unequivocally proved Sani's paternity, that both Inshira and Kobe were indeed his own children. Yet, the damage had been done. The scars edged too deep, with the relationship between father and children ever more widened. Inshira, the eldest of the two, secure in her own identity, took a semester off to support her depressed brother Kobe, who was much more affected by the divorce. Oforiwa, despite her desire to stay and care for Kobe, had to become the sole breadwinner, toiling to pay the bills and provide for her fractured family. She returned home each day exhausted, but her children needed her strength and warmth. As adversity tested her, Oforiwa turned to faith, seeking solace in prayer meetings. The woman who had once been a Sunday Christian now sought God's comfort in the face of overwhelming challenges. Cutting all ties with Sani, Oforiwa hadn't seen him or spoken to him in 5 years. His refusal to support the children financially has severed any lingering connections. Friends and family members alike suggested legal action against Sani, but Oforiwa was wary of the drama and the resulting high cost of litigation fees. More so, she had no strength left to fight for a man that she had toiled for. She chose to focus on her children with the little strength she had left. The wounds inflicted by Sunny ran deep, and she chose to focus on healing rather than seeking retribution. Now standing by Sunny's hospital bed, the grudge she held against him became palpable. Hate, a poison she had fought against, still lingered beneath the surface. But Oforiwa, in a moment of clarity, decided to offer the forgiveness she had long prayed for. She took Sani's hand, meeting his eyes with sincerity, and uttered the words he may not have expected: I forgive you for all the stuff you put me through. As the relief washed over Sani, Oforiwa continued: I have been praying for years for strength to forgive you. Seeing you in this hospital bed has made me realize that I still had anger against you. She took a deep breath, tears streaming down her face, and added, That doesn't mean I can forget what you did to me. I forgive you, but I don't want you back. You have hurt and humiliated me. The things you have done cannot be undone. It is too late for you and me. I am sorry. With her handbag in hand, Oforiwa left the room, leaving behind a man who had once been a significant part of her life. The past 10 years had transformed her into a woman who valued her peace and happiness over past grievances. She was no longer the woman who tolerated misbehavior out of love. She had evolved through the trials, emerged stronger, and found contentment in simplicity. The journey had come full circle, but this time it was Sunny who faced the consequences of his actions. Oforiwa walked away from the hospital, heading to the bus stop with a sense of closure. The phrase, what goes around comes around, echoed in her thoughts. She had plans, dreams, and a newfound sense of fulfillment, leaving behind a chapter of pain and reclaiming her life.